Hey guys, this is a multi-character ex-listener. I hope you enjoy. This was requested, so I hope you enjoy. And yeah, enjoy the video. You and Hogs have been dating for over a year. Everything's been perfect. He knew you had some past relationships when you attended UA, but he never put much attention to it. Right now, you guys were at an event where many pro heroes had to gather for a special mission. You felt someone staring at you and you felt uncomfortable. When you went to see who it was, you saw your ex. He was also a pro hero. He wasn't very well known as you, but he was still noticeable. He went closer and said, "Hey Yuan, how have you been? Long time no see, hasn't it?" Your relationship didn't end badly, but you didn't like being close to him. You said, "Yeah, it has been a long time. How is life treating you?" It's good, but I surely miss you, Yuan, and wanna get a coffee to catch up? You felt two wings wrap around you, and he said, "Hey, a pleasure meeting you. Who are you?" Hawk said to your ex. Your ex said his hero name, and then your ex proceeded to ask Hawks, "Hey Hawks, why are you so close to UN? I mean, you guys are close or something?" Hawks chuckled and said, "Oh my, and Yuan hasn't told you I'm her boyfriend." You blushed, and your ex looked at you with a confused face and said, "You are dating the second pro hero, Hawks?" You responded with a shy yes, and your ex had a discomfort look on his face, but said, "Well, I have to go now, if you excuse me." He turned around and left. He was angry and a little pissed that you moved on. You turned around to see your boyfriend and said, "Thanks, Diego. If you hadn't come, I would have killed the guy. I don't like being close to him." He gave you a smirk and said, "Well, I cannot have any person talking to my beautiful girlfriend. So it was letting that guy talk to you or coming to save you?" You giggled and said, "Yeah, you are my hero. Thank you." You guys kissed and the meeting soon started. You felt lucky that you had such a good boyfriend. You and Dabi were walking through the streets one night. You have been dating for about 2 years now, and everything seemed perfect. You guys worked at the league, and you got along with everyone, so it was beautiful your life right now. But suddenly, you felt someone grab your neck and pin you against a wall. When you see the face of the person, your blood ran cold. It was your ex. He was also a villain, but he worked in a large gang, so he wasn't known for having any major crimes or any major affairs with other villains. He said, "Oh, so Yuan, how have you been?" But your ex stopped talking when he felt someone drag him away from you. He saw Dabi. He continued to say, "Oh my, who is this little bastard that's trying to hurt my girlfriend?" He started to produce flames from his hand. Your ex was scared and said, wait, dude. We don't have to get bloody here. I don't want to fight. I just was going to mess with my ex-girlfriend. Please, stop." Davi's eyes widened when he said the word ex-girlfriend. He looked at you and said, "Yuan, is this your ex?" You nodded your head while you rubbed your neck, which was a little hurt since your ex almost choked you. You said, "You can burn him for all that I care, but we don't want a murder here. So you can just let the guy go because I want to go back home quickly." Davi nodded his head and grabbed your ex by the neck and lifted him to the air and said, "Get close to my doll again and let's see how you survive that, because I don't like people messing with what's mine, okay? Your ex nodded his head maniacally, like he was going to die right there. Dabi threw your ex back on the floor, then carried you British style and headed to the lake's base. You kissed his cheek and said, "You were jealous and mad at the same time. I like that look on you." He smirked and said, "Well, I cannot have people getting close to you. You are only mine and only mine always. So if that guy ever touches you, I'm gonna burn him alive. And that's final." When you guys entered the league, he kissed you and you guys headed to play some board games with the rest of the members. It was a fun night and you could be happy that you had a boyfriend and somewhat of a family with you. Your relationship with Shigaraki was very new. It's only been 2 weeks since you guys dated, but you have known each other for 1 year, so it was kinda special since you felt that you could finally be with the person you loved. The rest of the league and you were decided to go to a festival tonight. Everyone was wearing disguises for the rest of the pro heroes not to find out you guys were the league and you were just normal civilians this night. You and Shigaraki were eating candy apples and playing games when someone hugged your waist and pulled you close to them. The person screamed, "Yuan, it's been so long. I miss you so much. You disappeared. Where have you been?" You turn around to see your ex. Before you turned into a villain, you have been dating him for 3 years. But since he decided to cheat on you, you guys had broken up. You turned around and said, "Wait, can you get away from me? I really don't want to talk to you right now." "But Yuan, it's been so long. Please forgive me. Take me back. Please." He was begging you, and you felt sorry for the guy. He looked so crazy, and it certainly freaked you out. But you were happy with your relationship and said, "I'm sorry, but I am in a relationship now. I don't want your crazy ass back. Can you please go away?" Your ex tried hugging you again, but he felt someone grab his neck and said, "Oh, who is trying to get to my girlfriend?" Your ex turned his head to see Shigaraki. He said, "Oh, hey love, and this is my ex. He was bothering me." Shigaraki had a creepy smile on his face and said, "Well, my lovely Yuan, do you want me to kill him?" You nodded your head and said, "Let's just leave the guy with a skirt. We're in a public place after all. We don't want a bloody scene." Your ex had a face that was priceless. It was like his soul had left his body and he was just there, immobilized. He pleaded, "Okay, I will never bother you again. Just let me go. I promise I will not mess her life again. Just let me go." You nodded your head and Shigaraki released your ex. Then he walked up next to you and gave you a kiss and said, "I don't like guys like him. They're too clingy." You agreed and kissed him again. After that, you guys went back to the rest of the league and had a fun afternoon with your friends. Shigaraki and you knew each other since you were kids. But at the point of your life, you guys got separated because you had to move to America. You had some past relationships when you lived there. But when you turned 19, you decided to move back to Japan. That's when you guys met again. You couldn't feel happier, and since then it has been 1 year since then, and you guys were happily dating. You felt so fortunate. You never knew what Shigaraki worked for and what Shigaraki did, so you couldn't feel happier with your relationship. One night, you guys were having dinner at a fancy restaurant that Shigaraki managed to get you reservations at. You guys were talking and drinking glasses of wine when someone tapped your shoulder and said, "Excuse me, is your name Yuan for any coincidence?" You shyly nodded and he said, "Oh my god, it has been a lifetime, hasn't it?" You look at the person with a confused look and then recognize him. He was one of your high school exes. You were the one who ended the relationship because he was too possessive and said, "Oh, it's you. Yeah, it's been such a long time." Your ex had a grin and said, "Who is the gentleman with you?" You chuckled and said, "This is my boyfriend." Shizuki looked at your ex and said, "A pleasure. If you cannot see we're in a kind of a date, can you please just disappear from my presence?" Your ex gave an angry groan from the attitude your boyfriend had and said, "Oh, calm down, please. I'm just here to talk to beautiful Yuan. You know you're lucky to have her as your girlfriend. She broke up with me, but I will never doubt to go back with her if she gave me the honor." You sweetly smiled and said, "No, thank you." Chisaki started laughing and said, "Well, there you have your response. Can you leave us alone so we can have our date?" You could hear the jealousy in his tone of voice, and just stand up and went to kiss him. Your ex turned around and you said into Shizaki's ear, "Babe, don't be so jealous. You know I only love you." He humphed and said, "That's right. And next time I see your ex, the guy is done for." You chuckled and just ignored where your boyfriend just sat. You guys had a lovely dinner and it was perfect. You and your husband, Aizawa, were at the mall shopping for clothes and some essential needs you guys needed for the house, when you felt someone tap your shoulder. When you turned around, you saw a familiar face you haven't seen since high school. You gasped in surprise and hugged the person. You said, "Oh my god, it's been so long time. When did you get back from America?" He chuckled and said, "Well, Yuan, just about a week ago. How's life been treating you?" You said, "It's been great. I cannot tell you how life is been great for me." He chuckled and said, "Well, how about a coffee to keep in touch?" You gave a confused look but said, "I cannot." Your ex was shocked and said, "Why not?" Then your husband reached out for your hand and said, "This is why not." He showed the ring in your hand and your ex gasped and said, "Oh, you got married." You shyly nodded and your husband said, "Yeah, we have been married for a long time now." Your ex smiled and said, "Well, that's great. See you around Yuan then." You said, "Sure," and then you felt your husband hug you tightly and whisper in your ear, "Who is that?" You responded that that was your ex that you dated in high school and you guys had to break up since he had to move to America. He chuckled in response and said, "Well, he's too late. You are mine now, and he cannot do anything about it." You kissed him and said, "That's right. I'm now married to the most wonderful man on earth." He gave you another kiss and said, "And I'm married to the most beautiful woman on earth." You and Shinso were hanging out at the cafeteria during your break, and Shinso saw a pair of eyes stare at you. Your relationship wasn't that new. It had already been 6 months since you guys started dating. But he knew you used to date a second year before you dated him. After a while, a guy stand up from a table and headed to your guys' table. He sat next to you and said, "Hey Yuan, how have you been?" You look at your ex and just give him a glare and said, "What do you want?" He said, "Oh, don't come with that attitude. I just wanted to talk with a pretty girl." Shinso was at his seat watching the whole scene. The jealousy was very noticeable. So you stand up and went behind Shinso and gave him a hug. Your ex was confused and asked, beautiful, who is this? You responded with, oh, this is my boyfriend, Shinso. Your ex had an angry face and said, oh, so you moved on so quickly from me? What a shame. You said, it's been 8 months. What do you expect? He went closer to you and said, well, to get back together. But Shinzo quickly stood up and said, what do you want? Your ex responded, I just want you, and he stopped talking. Shinzo ordered, go to your seat, sit there, and stay there the rest of the day, and don't come bother Yuan. Your ex did as he was told, and Shinzo started laughing. You gave him a kiss on the cheek and said, thank you, babe. Anything for you, Yuan. You guys kissed and started walking back to class. You felt happy knowing that someone had your back, and you were even more happy that you had Shinzo by your side, since you plan on marrying him in the future, and he has the same plans as you. He was going to make you his wife one day.